Hello and welcome to Regent Park.TV Weekly News Show. My name is Fred Alvarado and my co-hosts are Murphy Brown and Victoria Nanneti. We present news that impacts on Regent Park and the surrounding areas. In this episode, we present the following news for the week of March 28th to April 4th, 2022.
Regent Park celebrates the Social Development Plan. Fire breaks out at 220 Oak Street high-rise residential building on March 26th. Interpersonal conflicts threaten to hijack the work of the SDP. Report of March 24th SDP meeting. Report on March 25th. Community meeting regarding developments in Toronto Centre, housing, community, and green spaces. Toronto Mayor John Tory to seek third term in October election. Ontario gives $800,000 to Indigenous health teams to address residential school trauma. COVID-19 and vaccination update. Toronto is a global leader in COVID-19 vaccination coverage. Vaccine clinics in Regent Park. Events and jobs in Regent Park.
Regent Park celebrates the Social Development Plan. The Regent Park community meets to hear about the Regent Park development and the Social Development Plan. On March 23, 2022, the Regent Park community came together to celebrate the Regent Park Social Development Plan and hear about its activities. The event was held in Daniel Spectrum Arts Center, located at 585 Dundas Street East. The first part of the event, taking place from noon to 5 p.m., was hosted by the Center for Social Innovation as part of the official plan of the community living room. Located on the first floor of Daniel's, the community living room is a partnership between CSI, Daniel's, and the Artscape. The space, consisting of tables, lounge chairs, books, children's toys, a cafe, and a TV, was designed as a public living room for residents and community members to informally gather and use as they see fit. The launch of the space featured a variety of vendors and speeches by Denise Soidan O'Leary and Tony Serman from CSI, Fareed Jalil from Artscape, and Hila Omarkale from Daniels.
The second part of the event, called Celebrating the Regent Park SDP, began at 5 p.m. and was held in the ADA Slate Hall of Daniel Spectrum. This part of the event featured a community dinner, updates on the Regent Park redevelopment from TCHC, Daniels, and Tridal, presentations from various committees involved in the Social Development Plan, and entertainment featuring Snooki Tines Funk Band, juggling from Square Circle, Chinese dancing from Happy Dancers, and spoken word from Spoken by T and Southside Santana. The following is a report of the celebrating the SDP event held in the ADA Slate Hall. After a delicious dinner, the celebrating the Regent Park SDP event began with the introductions of the three co-chairs. Greg Gary, the co-chair representing the Executive Directors Network, Ismail Afra, the TCHC resident co-chair, and Marlene DeGenova, the Market resident co-chair. After the initial greetings, a short video of an animated land acknowledgement was shown on the big screen above the stage. After the land acknowledgement, Greg Gary invited the City Councillor Christine Wong Tam to give opening remarks.
We've learned that people matter more than profits. We've learned that it matters when community comes together to be resilient and resolve and to build strength upon strength. And I know that's what the Social Development Plan is all about, and that's what Regent Park has really embodied better than most, I would say. All these incredible people that are sitting at the front who give so selflessly to make sure that the leadership and your advocacy is heard in a concentrated way, gets pushed through the discussions, even sometimes when they're difficult, to good outcomes. Because revitalization in Regent Park has never been just about the buildings and the brick and mortar. We know that. It's always been about the people and the families in Regent and making sure that the conditions that you're living in, the conditions that your kids are going to grow up in, is going to be better than the one that they inherited before. So I want to just say thank you to each and every single one of you, the unsung heroes of Regent Park, who have been sitting at numerous round tables and working groups. I can't imagine how many working groups you've been participating in, but I know that the social development plan is a contract between the community, TCHC, their developer partner, and the City of Toronto. It's a document that guides us and our work on your behalf and with you. And so that contract is one that we build upon. It's one that we shape to make sure it does what it's supposed to do, and it also keeps us accountable to each other, right? So things that are said have got to be done, and it has to be delivered. And that work is not easy, and it's done with community and with the leadership of the SDP stakeholders table. And you are leading the way when it comes to TCHC revitalization, how we build inclusive, beautiful neighborhoods where everyone feels like they belong.
In her remarks, Kristen Wong-Tam evoked the memory of Councillor Pam McConnell. I know that Pam would have been so proud to see this community that she loved so dearly, Councillor Wong-Tam said. Kristen Wong-Tam concluded her remarks with a thank you to the leadership of the SDP and a presentation of certificates honoring SDP and its partnership community organizations. The organizations that were honored and presented with certificates were Regent Park Neighborhood Association, Focus Media Arts Center, Artscape, Neighborhood Information Post, Young Street Mission, the Regent Park Health Center, Fred Victor, and the Center for Social Innovation.
Following Councillor Kristen Wong's opening remarks, the community viewed a video message from MPP Suze Morrison. Neighborhoods are only as strong as the community of people who live in them, and Regent Park has showed time and time again that community and connectedness is something that exists here in droves. However, everyone knows that strong communities just don't happen. They are created, they are tended to, they are loved into existence by passionate people like you, said Suze Morrison. Ismail Afra, the TCHC resident co-chair of the SDP, started the event presentations by providing information on the structure of the SDP. According to Ismail, the Regent Park redevelopment consists of a physical plan related to the construction of bricks and mortar and a social development plan, explained Ismail. Is a community-wide initiative aimed at fostering social inclusion and cohesion. The initiative is focused around 4 priority areas. The priority areas are communication, community building, employment and economic development, and safety. Each priority area is represented by a working committee comprised of TCHC residents, market residents, grassroots groups, and agencies.
Ismail then invited Teresa Todorova from TCHC to do a joint presentation about the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group and the newly developed terms of reference. The Community Benefits Oversight Working Group will be a newly formed committee that will work with TCHC and Tridel to assist in the allocation of the $26.8 million of community benefits promised to the community. In reviewing the terms of reference for the working group, Teresa explained that in keeping with the values of the social development plan, half of the voting members on the working group will be TCHC tenants and the other half will be market residents. Other members will be non-voting content experts. Teresa announced that they will soon be looking to recruit residents to the working group and that anyone that is interested should reach out to her. Teresa reported that the Kickstart summer program for children ages 6 to 12 years will be running again, and the program is looking to hire youth leaders. Teresa also talked about the TCHC 12-week intern program designed to provide youth with opportunities to gain experience in career-related fields. The next presentation the community heard was from Fatima Saya from Daniels, the development partners for phase 1 to 3 of the Regent Park redevelopment. Fatima began her presentation by reporting on staff additions to the Daniels Refight team. This was followed with information related to the construction of 2 new buildings on the corner of Dundas and River Streets. The first building, called Artswork Tower, will be 32 stories high and feature 349 units along with street-level retail, second-floor offices, and 2 work-live units in the laneway. The second building, called Artsy Condominium, will be 11 stories high and feature 114 units. Both buildings are scheduled to be completed in 2023. On the corner of Gerrard and Parliament, Fatima reported on the construction of the final market condominium that is being developed by Daniels. The building will have 2 towers, a 25-story tower on the south side and a 10-story tower on the north side. In total, the building will feature 628 units, street-level retail, and 2 levels of underground parking. There will also be a creative space making initiative to design murals and bike rings telling the story of Regent Park. Fatima also reported that Daniels is in the early stages of development of a home ownership program for residents of Regent Park. This news was greeted with applause. Fatima continued her presentation by announcing that there will be a variety of new retailers coming into the neighborhood, including Popeyes and Howla options. Fatima also talked about the UN World Urban Pavilion that is coming to Regent Park. The UN World Urban Pavilion will focus on sustainable cities and will be an opportunity to showcase Regent Park. As if all this was not enough, Fatima reported that Daniels is creating an entrepreneur hub to support and incubate new entrepreneurs. The hub will be located in Due East Condominium, which is a newly constructed building located on Dundas, across from the street of Aquatic Center on the east side. Finally, Daniels and TCHC have also co-created a website for connecting residents with employment opportunities. The website is called regentparkced.ca.
Following Fatima's presentation, Brian Sherwood reported on Trital's plan for Phase 3 and 4 of the Regent Park redevelopment. Brian indicated that Trital and TCHC is in the process of submitting a rezoning application to the city in April for Phase 3 and 4 of the Regent Park redevelopment and presented the plan to the audience. The high-level plan features high-quality homes, a city library, different types of open spaces including a large open square that could facilitate a culture bazaar, a central space, retail spaces, variety of community spaces, low-traffic streets, urban agriculture, office spaces, and several hundred affordable housing units. Maggie Hall of Tridal talked about the $20.8 million in the community benefits coming to the community and that Tridal and TCHC will be working with the Community Benefits Oversight Working Committee to identify how those funds will be used. For residents interested in jobs and employment training services, ASAL ASFAR encourage everyone to visit www.tridalcommunityworks.com. After hearing the updates from TCHC, Daniels, and Tridal, the community now had an opportunity to hear short presentations on the activities of each of the 4 working groups.
Joel Klassen and Waleed Kogali reported on the activities of the Community Building Table. The aim of the Community Building Table is to create welcoming spaces for residents of all backgrounds and income levels to come together by removing social and physical barriers. Joel began the presentation by reporting on all the groups that receive City SDP funding. Waleed continued the community working group presentation by talking about the activities, the virtual Sunday in the Park, and access to community spaces. Next, the community heard a video presentation from Gail Lynch and Ismail Afra, who reported on the activities of the employment and economic development. They talked about their application to the Metcalf Opportunity Fund to fund the development of an employment pathway for jobs and an entrepreneurship pathway for entrepreneurs.
The Safety Committee is dedicated to addressing safety issues in the community. Ines Garcia, a member of the Safety Committee, talked about the delivery of Speaking with Confidence training workshops and the mental health first aid training to residents. Ibrahim Afra and Adonis Hudgens of the Communication Committee reported on the activities of the communication table. The aim of the communications table is to promote the SDP and all the activities of other working tables. Ibrahim and Adonis reported on the release of Hello Neighbor, a newly developed community app serving Regent Park. They also reported on Regent Park TV and the creation of Regent Park TV Weekly News. Finally, they reported the Regent Park monthly newsletter.
Diana Mavendus concluded the business of the SDP with a video presentation talking about the role of the SDP Planning Committee and its successes, which included capacity building workshops, administrating the operating budget, hiring an assistant, developing a process for allocating the city funding. Diana also reported on all the projects that received funding. Following the SDP presentations, the community was treated to a variety of entertainers, including a juggling act by Square Circle, Snooky Tynes Funk Band, spoken word performances by Spoken by T and Southside Santana, and Chinese dances from the Happy Dancers. All in all, celebrating the SDP was a successful evening of food, information, and entertainment.
fire breaks out at 220 Oak Street high-rise residential building on March 26th. Just after 5 p.m. on March 26th, Toronto Fire responded to a call of an active fire within a 27-story residential high-rise at 220 Oak Street. The fire was promptly located and extinguished on the 18th floor. Toronto Fire proceeded to clear the building of possible smoke migration. The incident was cleared by 6 p.m. with no injuries reported. The incident in question is still under investigation, as the cause of the fire is currently unknown. The Fire Marshal of Ontario, John Pegg, would like to remind us of some simple but effective ways to keep our families safe. Check your smoke alarm regularly. Once a month is recommended. Change over smoke alarm batteries every 6 months. One way to remember this is to replace older batteries with fresh ones when adjusting or clocks twice a year for daylight saving times. Create and practice a fire escape plan for you and your family. For safety tips and information in various languages, visit toronto.ca/fire.
Interpersonal conflicts threaten to hijack the work of the SDP. Report of March 24th SDP meeting. The Regent Park Social Development Plan is a community-wide initiative aimed at building social cohesion and inclusion. The plan revolves around 4 priority areas, each represented by a working committee. The 4 working groups are communication, safety, community building and employment, and economic development. The body tasked with coordinating the 4 working groups is the SDP Planning Committee. The committee comprises of all the other members of the working groups and subcommittees. The March 24th, 2022 meeting of the SDP Planning Committee was held over Zoom and chaired by Ismail Afra, the TCHC tenant co-chair. The meeting began with reflections on the SDP celebration event held on March 23rd. Everyone that attended expressed positive comments. Similar to the previous meeting, the group discussed the need to have other residents facilitate future SDP Planning Committee meetings. Gail Lynch was adamant that only residents should facilitate the SDP Planning Committee meetings. Deanie Peters argued that there is a difference between facilitating the meeting and chairing the meeting. Some residents might have difficulties and concerns in chairing the meeting, but will find it easier to facilitate a meeting defined as moving the members through agenda items. Regardless of whether a resident was facilitating or chairing, Ismail indicated that they would receive support and be mentored to do so. In the absence of volunteers, Walid Kogali, a resident and regular facilitator of the SDP Planning Committee, volunteered to chair the March 31st meeting. The next item was related to welcoming Mahadir Khan, the new administrator coordinator of the SDP stakeholders table. Joel Klassen introduced Mahadir and let everyone know that he, as a staff member of the YSM who is trusting the funds, will be supervising Mahadir. Joel let everyone know that Mahadir will be working closely with the Daniela Costello, the city support worker, in carrying out his responsibilities. Mahadir let everyone know that he is a longtime resident of Regent Park and looks forward to working with everyone. The next item on the agenda was a discussion initiated by Morwan Kogali about the internal conflicts among and between members of the individual working groups. Morwan feels that discussions among members are becoming unhealthy, and some members are engaging in personal vendettas. Morwan indicated that one of the working group tables, which RPTV News is not at liberty to reveal, is particularly problematic. According to Morwan, who has attended this working group, argues that this particular working group table is a place where people bash each other and do not respect the chair. The meetings are chaotic and agenda items don't get resolved due to infighting and not understanding each other. Morwan feels that the issue has been made to fester for too long and should be addressed because it is affecting the work. Morwan has indicated that some of the important stakeholders on this table are starting to check out. Various members shared their opinions on these issues. Michael argued that some of the groups work well among themselves but have problems working with members from other tables, and some working groups are not working well among themselves. Gail felt that part of the problem is personality, and part of the problem is lack of structure, alignment between tables, and coordination. In addressing the lack of coordination and alignment, Waleed announced that he will call all the co-chairs and have a meeting to talk about coordinating, much to the objection of a member that felt that Waleed was moving on his own without a consensus or a group decision. One member argued that the working groups were not meant to work in isolation of each other. The idea was that the groups would collaborate and work on behalf of each other. This member suggested that the SDP Planning Committee should return to having each group provide a report and discuss their activities in each meeting. Another group member argued that there was never any doubt about having an alignment meeting. There was always a plan to bring everyone together to discuss each other's project activities. This member was adamantly against the suggestion of having a closed meeting between chairs. A third member agreed with suggestions that most working groups work in silos and don't know what the other groups are doing and when. A fourth member angrily expressed her frustration and felt that she has been personally bashed and attacked for the work she is doing. This member felt that respect goes both ways and it's not a one-way street. Another member felt he was removed from a meeting of one of the tables he was attending for no justification and wants this issue addressed. A second member backed his claim and argued that this should be dealt with on the top of the agenda at the next meeting. An agency member felt that serious conversation has to happen because issues are being raised that is taking from the work that we are committed to do. Another agency member felt that there are relational issues that is taking us away from the work, and if we don't acknowledge this and only focus on alignment and coordination, then the personal issues will continue. One of the challenges is that everything keeps changing and that the SDP processes and decisions are not well documented and kept in a place that is accessible to members. This creates conflicts between members who lack the information. A resident member felt that most of the conflicts are between residents and agencies that should play a stronger role in speaking up and helping and managing these relationships. The resident felt that one of the working groups is not working role, and that the planning committee needs to address this issue. In response, an agency member felt that it's not that service providers don't have opinions, it's just that some of their comments are not welcomed. A grassroots group member felt that the culture subcommittee group should work on addressing the personal issues, and that there should be a broader meeting on coordination between the working group. Ishmael, the chair, concluded the meeting by arguing that there are 3 issues. 1, understanding of each other's work through sharing of information. 2, collaborating and complementing each other's work. 3, it's really difficult to understand each other's work and collaborating together if we don't get along. Ishmael made 3 recommendations. First, to leave the culture committee to do its work. Second recommendation was to create a conflict resolution task group. The third recommendation was to create a coordination and alignment task group. An objection was raised by city staff that there are already too many task groups and that we may already be overextended. Unfortunately, the SDP Planning Committee ran out of time and no consensus decision was able to be made.
Report on March 25th community meeting regarding developments in Toronto-centered housing, community, and green spaces. On March 25th, 2022, a virtual community meeting was held on Zoom to discuss developments in Toronto-centered housing, community, and green spaces in the context of major developments, plans in the surrounding neighborhoods underway, and the critical moment for Toronto-centered communities to get involved so that community voices are heard and duly considered as part of decision-making. The meeting was organized by the Regent Park Neighborhood Association, Building Roots, the Neighborhood Pots, Parkdale People's Economy, and Moss Park Community Benefits Coalition, and the Toronto Community Benefits Coalition, and hosted by community builder Walid Kogali. The purpose of the meeting was to provide details about the potential pros and cons to the proposed developments and key issues such as: number 1, impacts to green spaces developments, which will limit park access for community members during construction. 2, environmental concerns like the location of the subway stations, removal of trees, and noise disturbances due to heavy construction activity. 3, community benefits including minimum equity hiring targets. Number 4, impacts to local businesses due to years of construction activity and the importance of business supports programs. Number 5, neighborhood improvements and social development plans to invest in community well-being as the area undergoes significant changes from transit and development. The community heard from researchers and community organizers from Toronto Community Benefits Network, Parkdale People's Economy, Regent Park Neighborhood Association, Community Benefits Coalition, and also from residents organizing across neighborhoods impacted by developments. The community panel included Miro Jo Garaha, the interim community benefits organizer at Parkdale's People's Economy; Kumsa Baker, Director of Campaigns at the Toronto Community Benefits Network; Kajan Nijar, Community Benefits Researcher at the Toronto Community Benefits Network. The community also learned about how many development applications consist of affordable housing, who is profiting and benefiting from the proposed developments. Research results on 20 development projects with 4,316 total units and only 32 being outlined as affordable housing units. The Metrolinx plan to build subway station across the Ontario line, affecting the Moss Park, Corktown, and other communities. Regent Park Revitalization Phases 4 and 5, a rezoning application is expected to be submitted in April 2022. In the next few months, important decisions will be made that will affect the future of neighborhood across the Toronto Centre for years and decades to come. These new plans will impact the community's way of life, businesses, and traffic in the area for many years due to lane street closures. During the virtual meeting, it was reported that approximately 12 individuals attempted to stop the meeting with disruptions. If you want more information, please visit www.communitybenefits.ca or contact Walid Kogali at walid.k@gmail.com.
Toronto Mayor John Tory to seek third term in October election. John Tory confirmed on Friday that he will run for a third term as Toronto's mayor in the next municipal election, making him the first high-profile politician to announce their candidacy. Official registration begins in May. I am running for mayor for another term because I believe Toronto needs an experienced leader who will continue to work hard with both the federal and provincial governments to ensure Toronto stays on track and continue to work on making Toronto a more livable and more affordable place to live, to work, and build a future, Tory said in a statement. Tory said he is running again to help steer the city out of the pandemic. This is about protecting our progress and making sure Toronto comes out of this pandemic stronger than ever. That's what I've done every day as mayor, including over the last 2 years confronting COVID-19, and that's what I am going to do if I am fortunate enough to be re-elected again in October. Tory was first elected in 2014 with 40% of the vote, replacing former Mayor Rob Ford. In 2018, Tory won his second term by capturing more than 60% of the vote, though just 41% of eligible Torontonians cast a ballot in that election, according to city statistics. Despite the strong show of support, Tory's time in office has not been without controversy. Most recently, he faced sharp criticism for the city's handling of the homelessness crisis, after officials and police, some dressed in riot gear, dismantled several encampments last summer. Tory defended the operation, calling the encampments unsafe and illegal, but promised a review into what took place. If re-elected, Tory said this will likely be his last term. I'll be lucky if the voters entrust me with a third term and give me the privilege of having this job for another 4 years. But beyond that, I think there will be other things that I might do, he told reporters at a different announcement on Friday. The municipal election is scheduled for October 24th.
Ontario gives $800,000 to Indigenous health teams to address residential school trauma. Ontario is dedicating $800,000 to Indigenous healthcare teams to help people experiencing trauma as a result of the residential school system. The government says the money will go to 8 Indigenous Primary Healthcare Council member organizations to enhance the delivery of culture-based mental health and addictions care. The funding could be used to hire mental health specialists, such as psychiatrists, social workers, and wellness workers, or for training and education, or to develop models of traditional healing, such as sweat lodge ceremonies. Indigenous Affairs Minister Greg Brickford says it would help provide much-needed support for residential school survivors, their families, and community members. The government says the new funding is in addition to the $20 million that has been committed to support burial investigations at sites of former residential schools across the province. A 24-hour national residential school crisis line is available for former residential school students at 1-866-925-4419. And now we continue with the COVID-19 and vaccination update.
Toronto is a global leader in COVID-19 vaccination coverage. In a report to the Board of Health, Toronto's Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Eileen De Villa, announced that the City of Toronto leads global cities in second-dose COVID-19 vaccination coverage among eligible residents 12 and older, 18 and older, and for all residents. Using publicly available data, as of March 4th, Toronto Public Health, TPH, conducted an analysis comparing the vaccination coverage for Toronto with several US and international cities, including New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles County, London, Berlin, and Brussels. Overall, Toronto's vaccination coverage is comparable and most often higher than the other cities reviewed. As of March 17th, approximately 88.9% of all Toronto residents 12 and older have received 2 doses, with 91.5% having gotten at least 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. More than 64.5% of eligible residents have received a 3rd dose. 3rd dose coverage in cities was also analyzed. However, the number of cities that can be compared is very limited, given that the eligibility for booster doses varies internationally. While Toronto has the highest 2nd dose coverage when compared to all major cities, Team Toronto and TPH continue to work hard to remove barriers to COVID-19 vaccination and provide opportunities for Toronto residents to get vaccinated.
Victoria Nanneti has an update on vaccine clinics in the community.
Thank you. The Regent Park Community Health Center is still running a COVID vaccination and testing clinic at 40 Oak Street, servicing the community of Regent Park and anyone living in M postal code. People with no immigration status are welcome at the clinic, as well as people with no fixed address or no identification. But if you do have an OHIP card or other identification, please bring it with you, as it will help with registration process. The clinic is fully wheelchair accessible, multilingual, and privacy stations are available. You are welcome to bring up to 1 support person with you, if required, and 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th doses are being administered. Appointments are strongly recommended to minimize wait times outside in the cold. For more information on eligibility, testing, different ages, clinics, and bookings, please visit regentparkchc.org/COVID-19 vaccine clinic. For assistance with booking your appointment, you can also email rpvaccine@gmail.com or call 437-881-3505. Weekly COVID-19 vaccination clinic at the 519. Access your COVID-19 vaccine at our low barrier drop-in weekly clinic for L2S LGBTQ+ communities and allies. For ages 12+, postal codes starting with M, Moderna, and Pfizer are available. Ontario Health Card are not as necessary, but good to bring along if you have it. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd doses are available for those eligible. Limited doses, first come, first serve. Questions? Contact us at community@the519.org. Do you have questions or concerns about COVID-19 vaccines? Do you want to know more about eligibility? Are you looking for an appointment to get your COVID-19 vaccine? Call our phone line staffed by Toronto's Downtown East Health Ambassadors, 647-576-7099. The phone line is open until March 31st, 2022. Hours of operation, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Interpretation service available. Remember, 647-576-7099. This is an initiative from the Downtown East Vaccine Engagement Partner Network. Now for events and jobs in Regent Park. Regent Park resident-led sewing classes are back. The 6-week program will once again run at the Center for Learning and Development, 540 Dundas Street East, every Saturday starting April 2nd to May 7th. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. will be the beginner workshop, and 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. will be advanced. Learn to sew using recycled material and fabrics, as well as how to do simple alterations. Class availability and childminding is for Regent Park residents only. To register or for more information, contact Adriana at 416-799-6006 or Irfa at 547-450-3463. Ramadan Iftar 2022. Meals by the Regent Park Catering Collective. This event is primarily for Regent Park residents to join in on Wednesdays in April break to break fast and pray Maghrib prayer together. Dates are April 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Daniel Spectrum, 585 Dundas Street East. All meals are free with the option to take out or eat in. Focus Media Arts Center invites you to learn video game development starting April 6th to June 29th, 2022, every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. This free in-person game development workshop will teach you how to make your very own video game. You will learn C#, programming, and Unity Engine. This free workshop is available for youth 15 to 25 and will take place at Daniel Spectrum, 585 Dundas Street East, 3rd floor. You can register online at www.regentparkfocus.com/gamedev.html or email info@focusmediaarts.ca. Join the Regent Park School of Music for their spring virtual open mic. See the school students perform and welcome spring over Zoom. You can RSVP to be part of the audience at www.rpmusic.org/events. Bridges and Mental Health Counseling Services at the Yonge Street Mission will be facilitating a hybrid both in person and virtual. Trauma and Transformation Group for our community members, starting from April 26th and running for 8 weeks until June 16th, 2022. The group will focus on understanding trauma, how to build and maintain safety and stability, as well as learn coping skills to manage trauma symptoms. T&T sessions will include mindfulness, prayer, meditation, educational content, discussions, and take-home resources, among other things. To register for this group and to find out if you fit the criteria to participate, please email Counselor Kayon Green at kgreen@ysm.ca or Counselor Ruth Porter at rporter@ysm.ca. Jobs/opportunities. Focus Media Arts Center is looking to hire a part-time communications outreach coordinator for the Regent Park Social Development Plan, or SDP's Communications Working Group. The working group is one of the 4 pillars of the SDP, and the successful candidate will be reporting to it. In supporting the Communications Working Group, the Communications Outreach Coordinator will employ the use of online, phone, in-person, and social media strategies to increase the promotion, reach, and engagement of all communication table initiatives such as Regent Park TV, the Hello Neighbor app, and the Regent Park newsletter. Furthermore, they will assist in the development and implementation of outreach strategies that will promote the activities and initiatives of the SDP and its 4 working groups as a whole. The part-time position includes 8 hours of work per week at a rate of $25 per hour, and the contract period is from April 18th to March 31st. Deadline to apply is coming up shortly on April 4th. For more information in this posting and to apply, send an email with your cover letter and resume to info@focusmediaarts.ca. Dixon Hall is offering the Youth Incubator Program in collaboration with George Brown College and Labor Education Center. This is an 8-week training program in hospitality or trade streams and provides valuable certifications for job seekers. They are now accepting youth 18 to 29 years old who are on Ontario Works. Participants will receive $750 from Dixon Hall for training support. The Youth Incubator Program is set to begin on April 19, 2022. For more information or to participate, contact Program Coordinator Denzel at 416-889-5768. The Leading Social Justice Fellowship is accepting applications for their 2022 program. This fellowship is a free cross-sectoral leadership development program for individuals engaged in social justice transformation in the GTA. Co-hosted by UFT's School of Cities, United Way of Greater Toronto, and Rotman Executive Programs. The fellowship will run from June to November 2022 with a 6-week summer break. Participants can expect 5 to 7 hours a week of fellowship activities focused on leadership development with a social justice lens and targeted network building. The fellowship will also support small teams or individual activists addressing a social justice challenge within their organization or community with needs-based financial supports of up to $1,500 per person in order to reduce barriers to participation. Applications for a needs-based stipend will be available after acceptance to the fellowship. Team project funding may also be available. Applications are due by Monday, April 11th at 10 p.m. So head over to the School of Cities website, schoolofcities.utoronto.ca. Click on their local/national partnerships link, and there you will find the Leading Social Justice Fellowship Program link for more information. Tridel Summer Internships and Co-op. Tridel is now recruiting for its summer program, offering students a chance to explore Tridel through job shadowing, on-the-job learning, and mentoring experience. The positions available are design student, site administrator, customer care student, project feasibility student, corporate social responsibility student, clerical administration. If you are interested, please visit https://www.tridelcommunityworks.com/summer internship or co-op opportunities. Please send your resume and cover letter indicating the area of interest to csr@tridel.com with the subject Summer Student Position by March 18th, 2022. And that's all for events, jobs, and announcements in Regent Park. Hope to see you there.
And that's all for today's show. My name is Murphy Brown, and my co-hosts are Fred Alvarado and Victoria Nanneti. We would also like to thank our team of researchers who contributed to this week's show, and from our studios at Focus Media Arts Center, thank you for watching and see you next week.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out all of our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.